Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Saturday evening, January 25, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak months of Atlantic hurricane season. That's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Please ensure that you guys utilize the progress bar that's located at the bottom of the video, as well as the timestamps that are located not only in the comment section but the video description, so that you can skip to the points in the video that you want to see the most in order to save time, because we know that the videos over here with the Jamaica can be very long. Leave a comment down below letting me know what the that's like in your year recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so as usual, we're going to be going out to the next 7 days on both the Euro and the GFS supercomputer models that came out today. So keep your eyes focused on the timestamp right here as we go out to the next 168 hours. Keep your eyes also focused on Jamaica, which is located right here, as we're going to be looking for all of this that we see on the key on the right. That's the reds, the oranges, the yellows, and the greens that represents inches of rainfall. So let us see what's going to be taking place over the next 7 days. Alright, so heading into Sunday, we see that we're going to be getting some amount of green still, especially across the northern and the eastern portions of the island. Some isolated showers for sure, still plaguing northern parishes. Some of this could definitely spill into sections of some southern parishes during Sunday afternoon for sure. The chances are definitely higher than what was predicted in yesterday's forecast for Saturday. Heading into Monday, we do see a lot of moisture to the south of Hispaniola, moisture to the south of Jamaica, moisture across Central America, and we do see some moisture across northeastern parishes once again. Tuesday, what do we see? We see a lot of moisture to the south of Jamaica, to the southeast of us for sure. Definitely gonna be staying south of us for majority of the day on Tuesday. Maybe some isolated showers by the end of the day on Tuesday. We'll see exactly what unfolds. Heading into Wednesday, we still see a lot of moisture to the south of us. Then by the end of the day on Wednesday, maybe some afternoon rainfall, like once again. Thursday, some rainfall across the east and the northeastern portion of the island. Let's see, Thursday afternoon looks like it's going to be spread out into sections of some central and western parishes as well. Friday, still having some rainfall across northeastern parishes. Afternoon, not seeing much of it spilling into central and western parishes at all. But we're going to be stopping it right here at the end of the 168 hours. So this is valid for Saturday, February 1. And we see a lot of moisture across southern US into the northwestern Gulf of Mexico. We see moisture stretching from Central America, that's Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, all the way over to the south of Jamaica and Hispaniola, all the way right here to the east of Puerto Rico into the US and British Virgin Islands. Northern Puerto Rico definitely getting on some of the action. And we also see some dots of greens across portions of eastern Jamaica too. Let us match this latest Euro model to the latest GFS model that came out at 6 p.m. Let's see what's going to be in store for us. Alright, so heading into Sunday, we saw that rainfall that's going to be plaguing portion of northern Jamaica, just like what the Euro was showing. Then during the afternoon, 0Z on Monday is actually 7 p.m. It's going to be the afternoon into the early evening. Maybe some afternoon rainfall across sections of some southern parishes as well. Monday, we also see that rainfall that was plaguing northeastern parishes, then spilling into sections of some central and western parishes during the afternoon on Monday. Tuesday, let's see, we're seeing some moisture in and around the island for sure, but nothing too significant on land. Wednesday, northeastern parishes once again. Thursday, northeastern parishes once again. Maybe some isolated afternoon showers during the afternoon. Friday, something similar to Thursday. And then on Saturday, look at this, we see a lot of moisture across especially northern parishes, Central America, northern Hispaniola into the eastern Caribbean. And we also see that moisture that the Euro was showing across the southern central portion of the US into the northwestern Gulf. We see it right here as well on the GFS. We'll see exactly what unfolds. Either way, in terms of the accumulated precipitation forecast maps, both maps here from the GFS and the Euro are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until Saturday, February 1, 2025. And we know the most in the way of rainfall is represented by what we see here on the key on the right. That's the reds, the burgundies, the purples into the pinks, and the peach colors. That represents anywhere from 1 to 2, 3 to 5, and 6 to 8 inches of rainfall. And we can clearly see that over the next 7 days, the most rainfall should still be plaguing these very areas that we highlighted in yesterday's video. We're talking about Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica. We also see Panama and Colombia in the mix, southern Venezuela, western Venezuela as well, into portion of eastern Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, French Guyana. We also see an abundance of moisture expected anywhere from Guadeloupe southward, Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, sections of eastern Puerto Rico, section of the Dominican Republic and northern Haiti, eastern Cuba, northeastern Jamaica. And we clearly see that it's not only the Euro model that is showing that, but even the GFS is showing the same spots receiving that amount of rainfall, anywhere from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, especially where we have those purples into the pinks. We're talking about 3 all the way up to maybe 6 inches of rainfall. So there could definitely be some isolated flash flooding taking place across portions of northern South America and portions of Central America as well. If we take a look at the close-up of Jamaica regarding our accumulated precipitation forecast for the next 7 days, we can see that both the Euro and the GFS are still in consensus that the most rainfall over the next 7 days should be where we have those greens into the yellows, into the oranges, into the pinks and reds. That represents anywhere from 15 all the way up to 30, up to 50, 60, all the way up to maybe 100 or more millimeters of rainfall according to the Euro. GFS a bit less robust, going up into the oranges. That represents up to 73 millimeters of rainfall for Portland. The Euro going all the way up to 123 millimeters of rainfall for Portland. Either way, we also see portions of St. Thomas in the mix, also section of northern St. Andrew, northern St. Catherine, St. Mary, as well as St. Anne. So I hope the persons who live in those areas are taking necessary precautions, because especially in Portland, where they've been receiving a lot of rainfall for the past couple of months, they're definitely susceptible to some amount of land slippages. So they better be on their P's and Q's over there. Taking a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see that we have a ridge of high pressure right here across the southeastern US. We have some broken orange lines right here to the south of Puerto Rico associated with a trough, a frontal system right here stretching from the northern portion of North Atlantic all the way down into portions of the Bahamas. And we see another ridge of high pressure right here to the northwest of the Cabo Verde Islands that we know is responsible for sending all of the easterly trade winds across the main development region into the Caribbean. And if we match this latest surface map to the latest visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the summer down, we can make out all of these entities. First of all, we can definitely make out the clouds associated with that frontal system. Still bring some amount of clouds and rainfall to portions of the Bahamas as we speak. We can also make out the clouds associated with the trough right here to the south of Puerto Rico, passing to the north of the ABC Islands right here. And we can see the low level flow of the low to mid level clouds pushing from east west across the Caribbean, all courtesy of the ridge of high pressure that is up north. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Saturday, January 25, 2025. If you remember yesterday's video, it was stated that rainfall was in the forecast for parts of northern Jamaica on Saturday morning as well as on Saturday afternoon, and it would have been possible for some of these clouds to spill into sections of some southern parishes during Saturday afternoon. And we know northern parishes, we're talking about those parishes like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland. While southern parishes, we're talking about St. Anne, St. Thomas, St. Andrew, Kingston, sections of, St. Catherine, Clanna, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, and Westmoreland. And what ended up happening? As early as 7:45 a.m., the visible satellite image was posted not only here on our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica, but also on our Instagram page at weather.jamaica, on our TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So if we take a look at the visible satellite image that was posted after 7 today to 7:45 a.m. to be exact. Well, 7:35 a.m. to be exact, right? Let's go back and see if we have the correct time, because I'm seeing 7:35 on that image. Oh, alright, so I guess we have an outdated image. So it says here 7:45 a.m. But if you actually look at the visible satellite image itself, right here at the top right hand corner, it says 12:35 UTC. So that's an error. Either way, 12:35 UTC stands for 7:35 a.m. So that was just shy of 10 minutes, but we get the gist. We're definitely getting on some amount of clouds across portions of some northern parishes for sure. Bring some overcast skies, if not some isolated showers. And some of these clouds definitely spilled into section of some southern parishes as well. We see some cloud cover across Clarendon as well as St. Catherine at that time. You can also see some clouds right here to the southeast of St. Thomas. Some of these clouds definitely have some isolated showers within them for sure. Then at around 4:25 p.m. the visible satellite images were posted, and they highlighted the low level clouds pushing in from the northeast, bringing overcast skies and isolated showers to the very same spot. We're talking about St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, and Portland. And we also see some clouds right here to the east of us. Look at the abundance of clouds, and we can also see some sparkling white, well, yellow dots right here that we know represent some amount of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes. So we were definitely getting on some isolated thundershower activity to the east of Jamaica. If we take a look at the visible satellite images right here from the NASA website, I don't know why, but these visible satellite images have been glitching out all day. Doesn't seem as smooth as it usually is, but we can see that we definitely had that northeasterly flow. Some of these clouds right here with the isolated thunderstorm activity as well before the day was done was definitely coming a bit close to portions of eastern Jamaica today, but we can see during the afternoon into the early evening definitely still clear across most southern parishes. If we take a look at the infrared satellite images, we can make out that some of these clouds to our east are starting to show signs of some cumulonimbus activity. So it was more so some milky whitish colors. Then we actually saw the sparkling yellow dots, now sparkling white dots here on this infrared. And now we're making out the cumulonimbus clouds as represented by the blues, the greens, the yellows. Definitely have some thunderstorm clouds to our east for sure. Definitely a bit rare for this time of year to be seeing this kind of activity so near us. We actually had something similar on early Friday morning. We'll see exactly what unfolds over the next several days. If we take a look at the live camera from See Jamaica's YouTube channel, going all the way back to about 3:49 p.m., we can see people in their vehicles going about their business, and we can definitely see that around the flat bridge it was windy for sure, sunny as well. The real Cobra definitely chilling for the time being. Not much in the way for rainfall, definitely dry weather conditions was the order of the day, just as predicted in that part of St. Catherine. And we also have the accumulated precipitation here from the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website, showing that we're indeed getting on some amount of rainfall across portions of some northern parishes for the most part. If we take a look at some comments here, we have Nick.K3788 stating dry like chip in their area. We also have Marlon stating sunny condition. We have Shawnee Reynolds stating overcast with light rain in St. Andrew. Thank you guys very much for the comments, but let us take a look at what's happening right now. The latest still image from the Weather Nerds website is showing 0055 UTC. So what we're seeing is some thunderstorm clouds to our east, and given the northeasterly flow chances are most of this will miss us and push off towards the southwest, definitely passing to the south of the island in general. And I'm sure we have the latest from the Cuban Doppler radar site, showing all of this passing to our east and our south as we speak. Look at the rain bands, as you know, that represent greens into the yellows that will represent what? Moderate. It's moderate rainfall to fuerte, that's some stronger heavy rainfall right there, passing and pushing towards the southwest for sure. We can also make out some rain bands to our north. Look at this. Some rainfall coming into portions of, seems like, if not western St. Anne, maybe Trelawney. You also see some rain bands to the northeast of that. We'll see if all of that pushes towards the southwest in that northeasterly flow. Taking a look here at the Guantanamo Bay Cuban Naval Radar imagery, we can make out some what looks like rainfall across the mountainous regions of Guantanamo, maybe to the north of Guantanamo, eastern Cuba in general. But maybe that's just ground clutter. But we're seeing the rainfall for sure right here across the western peninsula of Haiti. That rain band right here to the north of Jamaica that's pushing southwestward. And that rain band right here to the east of Jamaica associated with what we just saw on the Cuban Doppler radar as well as the satellite imagery. Taking a look at the Cayman radar. Not seeing much activity across western Jamaica, southern Cuba, or the Cayman Islands at all at this time. But if we take a look at See Jamaica's YouTube channel, showing what's happening right now, the live camera is showing 8:04 p.m. and we can see people in their vehicles going about their business. Definitely dry conditions tonight, fair conditions. That's going to be the order of the night in general. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to see more live streams like this, just visit See Jamaica on YouTube. They have these live streams for your viewing pleasure, and they're planning on increasing the amount of cameras that they have in and around the island. So subscribe today so that you don't miss out. Taking a look at the temperatures right now, it could be higher, it could be lower. Either way, what we're seeing here are the estimated temperatures. In Montego Bay states 25 degrees Celsius, in Kingston states 26 degrees Celsius. And let's see, by about 4 a.m. let's find 4 a.m. right somewhere here on Sunday. Where is it? Alright, here we go. 4 a.m. on Sunday, temperature should dip down to about 24 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow. This map from the GFS is valid for 18th on Sunday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Sunday. And we can see Jamaica right here embedded in some slight orange colors. They represent maybe 1, maybe up to 2 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures, as we can see from the key on the right. And we know the normal temperature for the month of January across Jamaica is around 86.5 degrees Fahrenheit. And when that's converted to degrees Celsius, that's around 30.2 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving anywhere from 30.2 to 32.2 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on Sunday. Unfortunately, we have at least one maintenance outage advisory here from my JPS Online's Twitter page. And we have to highlight these because you know that when we have power outages somewhere across the island, it can definitely make the heat feel even worse because we don't have our fan or our AC to cool us down. So we have to definitely highlight these. So if you live or work in these areas, or if you have friends or relatives who live or work in these areas, let them know that a power outage is coming their way. We're referring to West Prospect in St. Catherine for Sunday, January 26th, from the time period from 9:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. Either way, we have some tips right here to beat the heat as usual. It states here, when outside, seek shade. Eat fresh, try eating cold foods such as salads and fruits. Rest, make sure you get enough sleep and rest if you're feeling tired. Soak, take a cool shower or bath to help you cool down. And I cannot stress enough the importance of staying hydrated throughout the day. Drink lots of water, put away the sugary drinks, drink water instead. Taking a look at the dry air map. We know that the dry air is represented by what we see here on the key at the bottom. That's the yellows, the oranges, the reds, and the whites within those reds. And we can see a lot of dry air extending from Africa across the main development region into the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico, right here off the east coast of the US as well. A lot of dry air right here across the northern portion of North Atlantic. And we also see some breaks in the dry air. Some of it right here across the southern portion of the main development region into where the intertropical convergence zone is. A lot of moist air as well. Some breaks in the dry air. to the south of Jamaica, to the southwest of Puerto Rico, associated with the trough. So it all makes sense. Wherever we see the breaks in the dry air, wherever we see the blues, that's where we have moist air. That's where we have some probability for us to get some amount of moisture, some amount of rainfall. And that's what we want. We want the rainfall for sure to keep these temperatures down and to keep water in our pipes during this dry season. But as it relates to the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Sunday, we can see that we don't have much of anything in terms of Saharan dust, as we know is represented by the brown color across North America, the Bahamas, the Caribbean, Northern South America, or Central America at all, because all the browns that represent the Saharan dust should be across portions of the main development region right here. And we're indeed glad that it's not across our portion of the basin, and we're also glad that it's not that of a vigorous plume, because you know the vigorous plumes are represented by the dark shades of browns that we know can cause very hazy skies, not to mention trigger some amount of respiratory illnesses in some persons. Taking a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, not seeing much change at all in the wave forecast. Still seeing all of those purples into the pinks, judging from the eastern Caribbean to the central and southwestern Caribbean for sure, that we know represents anywhere from 2 to 3 meter wave heights. On Jamaica's north coast tomorrow, we're seeing up to 2 meter wave heights. Jamaica's south coast maybe 1.7, and that's because of the winds that are going to be expected. Clearly we see across the eastern to the central Caribbean an easterly flow curving southwestward in the southwestern Caribbean, more of a northeasterly or east-northeasterly kind of flow across much of the Bahamas into Cuba and the western Caribbean. At the Gulf of Mexico, we see more of a northeasterly flow curving towards the north into portions of Texas, right there around the high pressure. And if we take a closer look, by the way, look at the colors. We see bright greens into the yellows, so we know those winds should be anywhere from 20 to 25 knots at most, especially right here to the far south of Jamaica, to the north of Panama and Colombia. That's where the strongest winds are going to be, so it makes sense that that's where the highest waves are going to be, with all of those purples that we can see from the key on the bottom right. Represents up to 2 to 3 meter wave heights. But if we take a closer look at Jamaica, look at these winds. Winds kind of look like they're coming more from the east northeast, and we see that we're having bright greens into the yellows. They represent 20 to 25 knots. So who knows, we might get some morning rainfall for sure across our northern parishes once again. Then during the afternoon, when we have that daytime heating, some isolated afternoon rainfall wherever we have that air piling up across sections of some southern parishes, some daytime heating rainfall for sure. And with the upper level wind coming in from the west northwest, it could definitely favor some isolated rainfall across the south coast for sure. Taking a look at the actual rainfall forecast maps now, this map here from the Euro and this map here from the GFS are both showing 7 a.m. on Sunday. As a matter of fact, both Euro and the GFS models are showing rainfall as early as tonight into early tomorrow morning, throughout the morning into mid-morning into the afternoon. They're showing the blues to represent rainfall across northern parishes in general. So look out for that rainfall if you reside in Trelawney, St. Anne, St. James, St. Mary, Portland, maybe spilling into section of St. Thomas. And then look at the afternoon now. This is valid for 3 p.m. on Sunday. And clearly both the Euro and the GFS models are adamant that northern Jamaica is still going to be getting some rainfall. But look at this section of southern Jamaica are going to be getting some of the activity too. And it's not like yesterday when we had just a speck of blue on the Euro and the GFS, so the chances weren't high. But tomorrow definitely going to be a higher chance for rainfall on the south coast for sure. Look at this, the Euro showing rainfall as far as Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, St. Andrew. The GFS showing the same areas getting in some amount of rainfall. So rainfall is in the forecast for northern parishes in the morning, spilling into section of some southern parishes during the afternoon. That's going to be the order of the forecast. Even the accumulated precipitation forecast maps are in consensus that the most rainfall over the next 24 hours from now up until 10 p.m. on Sunday should be plaguing northern parishes, as we can see the greens into the yellows. They represent what we see here on the key on the right. That's the 0.2 of an inch of rainfall all the way up to maybe 0.75, 0.6 of an inch. We'll see exactly what unfolds. Whatever happens, I'll keep you posted on our other social media platform throughout the day, and we'll definitely take the rainfall. We're in the month of January, we're in our dry season, and in Kingston, whose bar graph is being shown right here at the top, we usually receive up to 20 millimeters of rainfall for the month. That's close to 1 inch, which is actually 25 millimeters of rainfall. In Montego Bay, whose bar graph is being shown right here at the bottom, we usually receive up to 3 inches of rainfall. That's about 75 millimeters of rainfall for the month of January. And I would like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to find out what your specific parish usually receives in terms of rainfall for the month of January or for the entire year, you can visit weatherandclimate.com, and that website will show you that information. And you can use this nice little graphic right here that converts rainfall from inches to millimeters. You know that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we have some clouds associated with a frontal system. They will bring some overcast skies and rainfall to section of the Bahamas, Cuba, pushing all the way southwestward into the Cayman Islands, the Yucatan Peninsula, Belize, Guatemala, Honduras right there, sections of Nicaragua getting in some of the moisture, so to Costa Rica, looking southward across northern South America, portions of southern Colombia, southern Venezuela, and Suriname, French Guyana getting in a lot of moisture. We also see that moisture pushing through the eastern Caribbean, associated with some surface troughs, bring some rainfall to section of Trinidad and Tobago as we speak. Maybe section of Grenada was getting in on the action earlier. We also see some clouds pushing through from east to west into portion of Barbados when we started to lose the sunlight, so to St. Lucia, also Martinique, Dominica, Guadeloupe. Also see portion of the Leeward Islands was getting in some of the action as well earlier today, pushing into the Western British Virgin Islands as well as eastern Puerto Rico. And if we take a look at the Doppler radar images over that side of the world, let's just see if we can match what we just saw on the visible satellite imagery. Alright, here we go. Some of that moisture that we saw pushing through now affecting portions of eastern Puerto Rico as we speak. We see the green represents some moderate to some slightly heavy rainfall with some yellows embedded in there for sure. Let's see what's happening on the Barbados radar, just like what we saw in the satellite imagery. Some moisture coming in from the east, some already affecting Barbados with more to come. We can also see some moisture right here coming into portion of St. Vincent, so to St. Lucia, Martinique getting in on some of the action too. And if we take a look at the weather view of Doppler radar images, we can make out that rainfall that portion of Trinidad is getting as we speak. The water to the north of the ABC Islands associated with that trough getting in some of the action too. Not seeing much action across northwestern Cuba, Florida, or Central America at this time. But if we take a look at where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours, both maps here from the Euro and the GFS are in consensus that the most rainfall from now up until 10 p.m. on Sunday should be where we have those oranges into the red. So we're talking about sections of Belize, southern Belize, northeastern Guatemala, northern and eastern Honduras, sections of Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, southern Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, French Guyana for sure. You can also expect some amount of rainfall for northern Cuba, the Bahamas, eastern Jamaica, northern Jamaica, northern Hispaniola, northern Haiti, and northern Dominican Republic portions of that island as well. Southeastern Puerto Rico, according to the GFS, not so much on the Euro. But look eastward, we can definitely see that rainfall is definitely in the forecast. For portion of Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique, section of St. Lucia, St. Vincent and Grenadines, and Barbados. I see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with this forecast, even eastern Trinidad and Tobago for sure. I know that when they're in consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, that's it for today. Thanks for watching.